Apple, what is that, emoji thing that they do.
Yeah,
It's
man.
hilarious.
Shout out to Twin Network who did that for me.
Yeah.
I'm building the universe. And as a matter of fact, usually when I look at that, when I'm in the studio and I work, I look at a screen like this with images to build my music on. I like the animation look. It just came to me. I channel creativity, so I like, this is what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna rock the Clean Dirt hat, which is, clothing line I support, I love, friend of mine's. That's his clothing line. So I was like, you know what? I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna animate myself, but I need somebody to do it. Found this cat from Africa, in Nigeria.
Really? Okay.
That does all my, my illustrations. So I was like, I'm gonna run with a capsule. I'm just gonna do illustration. I see it as print, something you could wear. I see it in layers. You know what I'm saying? I see the cover, the music, wearing it. I'm building a universe. So that's why illustration, it captures you. You look at it, and I want people to look at me and pay attention to what I'm doing. Because you may not even like my music, but you might like that. So you'll buy that.
Absolutely.
You can get all of this. You can purchase the Charm Guide in many forms, So, you got the music and music business. So I really do paint the picture like that. I look at it like, but I love that. And so it just really came to my mind. I did it. I ran with it. That's how I work. That's how I operate. And then I built the music from there. I felt like, okay, I make smooth music. I make late. I'm not gonna overrap you. I just want to put you in a mood, and then I might get you in different moods, record to record, whatever, and then I just go from there.
That's crazy. You said you just found an animator from Nigeria
on Instagram.
So, and that's one of the things where it's like, you can go online and you can find an animator. You can find a guy that does T-shirts. You can find a guy that does hats. You can find people that make their own clothing lines. You can find your own videographer, all that stuff. But you actually have to go find them. And you got to vet them, and you got to figure out what it is. So when you're looking for an animator, what is it that you're looking for? Because I know somebody's out there like, yeah, I'd like an animator, but how do I check an animator?
I mean, I feel like it has to, what's up here, they just have to replicate that. I want to, it has to look pristine, it has to look clean. I judge myself like you judge me. You probably heard a song and said, he could have did that. And maybe I was like, yeah, I could have done that. but the whole point is to keep pushing and putting out content, and, you grow with me. You know what I'm saying? Because art for me is something where is like, it doesn't always have to be perfect. DJ Screw, Rob J, made this point. It was very true. He's a person that just really lived in the moment. I mean, you naming songs and shit after dates. So he's really just about the moment and putting it out. So I'm like that too. But when I'm looking for an illustrator or animator, it's just, does it coincide with how I like things to look? How I want you to perceive me. So it looks pristine. It looks clean. I liked it because there's a lot of people that do that.
Yeah,
but
absolutely.
He was like, yeah, that's it. And I went with him, man.
Now earlier too, and this is a word. I mean, you and I talked a little bit before the interview, and we were talking. You just mentioned earlier, it's like there's making music, and then there's a music business, and you had a lot of thoughts on that, and I want to make sure, because I was like, when you were talking, I was like, man, this is interview stuff. So we're gonna kind of rehash some of that. So
I can speak on it, man. I think there's a lot of artists here in Houston that are dope, and people are really good at creating music here. Okay, I think so. I mean, anybody really can. As far as the facilitation of it all and the business side of it, I don't really know outside of the people that are legends, like a Jay Prince or something like that. I don't really know who else. I mean, now you got Carl Crawford, 1501. I mean, those are people that are stepping up to the plate and doing some major things. But outside of that, I really can't tell you, outside of yourself, how many writers or how many photographers or how many PR agents or how many A&Rs I could go to that are stationed here, that's all they want to do, and they're all about creating a scene. I mean, these people have no clue about how scenes work. They haven't watched any Motown documentaries, so they don't even have a schematic, and they have no passion in this thing we call the music industry, and that's an issue. So at Fresh Sonic Studios is where I'm at all the time. They're full time. It's my home. I run sales with the owner, who is also a friend of mine, Marcus, and it's a golden platinum plaque studio. And what we're doing over there is we have a production team out of there, Suicide Squad, which is I'm a part of that. Getting placements currently right now. We had like OTB Fastlane came through. Some of the guys that's really popping. You know, Lil Jeremy was in there, did a song with a guy named Young Martez, who we're sponsoring, helping blow up. Okay. Like, you know, who is already really on the cusp anyway. But we're just assisting as far as like our ideology and how content goes. This is how you can do it. Having a guy that just wants to be an A&R, study this artist, see how he can improve himself. What can he do here? Creating a system, an infrastructure out of this place that we eventually want to be the blueprint for the entire city. So it's gonna take people to step up and think like that to change it from the business perspective. Because a lot of people, even when it comes to shows, a lot of guys y'all had up here, I've had them on shows like Rob, Peas, quite a few times. Cab a long time ago did a show with us. We were great at facilitating shows and putting on shows and building bills. People don't even understand that. They don't even know how to do that. How to get paid, how people paying the artists.
Because we get a number of people that's one of the artists' kind of biggest complaint is like, man, I'm not gonna do no show y'all don't pay.
Yeah, because artists should not sell tickets. Look, as a promoter, this is what you do. You find the person that is really gonna sell the tickets to your show, and then you build the bill from there. This whole concept of
dropping gems on
because this whole thing about okay, I want you to sell 10 or I want you to sell 50 tickets. Here's where that gets hazy, because if the person has the money to pay for the tickets and they're not getting the people there, you still at a little issue here. And I've seen promoters have decent acts at a show and nobody's there. My goal is to get bodies there, because more than the money, the people are really the leverage. That's the currency. So if they're like, hey, that's like Waxaholics, for instance.
Yeah.
With Reeks and those guys have done, and Pope and those, Demo, all those guys over there, that's a brand now.
Absolutely.
People want to be involved, and they have really given a blueprint on how you can do that and not just be doing trap music.
And people that aren't necessarily, I would say, at the cutting edge or at the forefront of what is always happening in music, they'll definitely be like, oh, but the Waxaholics is doing something on Thursday. The Waxaholics is doing something on Tuesday. The Waxaholics is doing something on Saturday. I might not know everything that's going on in the city. I might not know everything that's going on in music.
Right.
But if the Waxaholics are doing something, I know them, so I will go because I know what they do and I know the event that I'm going to.
Right.
Yeah.
Right, man. So people just really, I think what it is you have a lot of people taking up space that just want to be seen. Mm-hmm. They want to be in the VIP. They want to be backstage. I've seen a lot of fans. It's a lot of fans trying to do this.
In the video.
Yeah,
I thought the same thing, yeah.
It is. It's a lot of fans. And so the artist suffers. There's no one. Well, people have to understand, and when you're designing a movement, you could go look at Motown. What made that such an impactful thing is that there were so many artists that were putting out great content. It was highly concentrated. It was there, and they had a system in how they did it, and that attracts people. People they like to look at a group of things because it's psychological. You want to now follow that. You don't want to see one doing it. You don't want to see two.
Yeah.
You really want to see a wave. Everybody. So you look at any.
Like
whether
TD, what's it? How did you forget Dreamville?
Rockefeller.
Of course, Rockefeller.
Right.
No, but and then the other thing too is you get the opportunity to branch out. Certain people will get a cachet. Look, I love Beanie Siegel. Right. Beanie Siegel, one of my favorite rappers.
Yeah.
Beanie Siegel don't get the look that he gets if he's not with Rockefeller. Where it's literally you get people like, well, I see Jay, I see Bleak, I see all them, and he with them, so he must be good. And then it's like, okay, let me give him a chance. And then people is like, okay, now I'm actually going to listen to you. That's a big thing, getting that cachet from people so that you can listen.
How about Dragon's album? Just say.
But no, that's how it works.
Swiss Beats tricked a lot of us, but go ahead.
I'm not that big of a fan of Swizz.
Nah, me either, man.
Hey.
Yeah.
I think I think the show that I went to, you guys were talking about that. We were talking about production.
That's probably a case,
Yeah.
but if it was on VRC, that's Virtual Reality Caravan with Hash and all of them, there's some definite strong feelings when Swiss Beatz or Nas comes up. If Nas or Swiss Beatz comes up,
there's a fight.
The opinions can get Swiss Beatz, Nas, or if you told Hash that
Prince.
Michael Jackson, you prefer Michael Jackson to Prince. That's one of those things where it's like that'll definitely activate the room. Like, wait a minute, what?
Yeah,
So,
we've had some lengthy discussions about all of that.
Yeah,
but, yeah, man. I mean, you look at other places too. Like you look at the LA rock scene. You know,
Oh my goodness.
80s, 90s,
Yeah.
same thing. You know, there are waves. If you look at the Eagles when they came out in the
Skid
scene
Row,
in Southern
man.
California, yeah, all that. So, I love this game. I study it and I see how it operates and works, and I see the pieces that we're missing here and what needs to improve, man. So I'm just in my space. I'm just doing it
Because I think ours is just an infrastructure thing. Even when you talk about like the rock scene, where it's we've talked about this, where these are wildly different alternative bands, if you want to call them that. But like the Suffers, Krog Band.
Yeah.
Oh shoot, I forgot.
I know
name.
who you're
the
talking
girl,
about.
the girl with the hair. I love. She's got that '80s kind of sing
They-
sound.
The Tom Toms.
The
Tom
Tons.
Yeah.
Yeah,
The
Tom Toms.
Tauntauns opened up for the Suffers at their last thing. It was in the Heights. That's an amazing band. Like that's a band that can stand out on its own. That opened up for a band that can stand out on their own. And when you talk about like Krogman, I tell everybody Krogman was like my album of the year.
Yeah.
Like last year.
They're moving for real.
Oh, absolutely.
They're moving
First
up.
of
They're
all,
on that
people don't
what's
know
that beer? The Corona commercial?
Yeah, Krogman is on a beer commercial.
Yeah.
Like every time, and I'm like, every time it comes on, I'm like, "Dog, is my phone going off, or like, is my phone playing the song?" And it's like it's playing in the background of the commercial. And they've been in a couple. They've had not a
Movies.
couple, a few movie spots,
Yeah.
a few television spots. But it's crazy where it's like
Best album ever.
one of the guys from there is from Beans and Cornbread.
Mm-hmm.
Two, you've got these. Like
didn't know that.
people.
Oh, yeah,
don't
yeah,
know.
yeah.
First of all, one of the guys from Beans and Cornbread is part of Krogman. That's the one that plays the drums. The other one plays the organ for the Houston Rockets.
games.
Wow.
Multifaceted.
That's it.
They're doing
you
what
won't-
you're talking
and they-
about.
Probably
And
won't
they-
be doing that much more anymore. You know what I'm saying? Because they're blowing up.
They still put out mixtapes. They still
Yeah.
put out music. They still are out here doing production work. But that's my thing, where it's like the talent is here.
It is.
It's
The
here.
talent is here. The infrastructure,
It's
not,
not.
so much. Not so much.
Yet.
Not so much yet.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I mean, so you talked about things like putting on shows. That's one of the things that you've been able to do. What are some of the other things where you're talking about now, the group that you're working with? What are some of the other things you're doing to work with talent or get more music out there?
Man, honestly, I want a little Motown over where I'm at. And so one of the key things in doing that is you're going to have songwriters and producers.
Okay.
That's just what you're going to have to have. So with Suicide Squad Men together, we are producing a high volume of music. Like, it's just a lot. So Young Martez is a guy out of Fifth Ward that is heating up. I mean, he's hot. He's had a lot of great success in Houston, putting out music, and we've been working with him. We sponsored him to come over and work with us, and give him production as well, and just really see him grow even further into some situations he's going to be coming into that are going to be amazing for him. So we want to do that with a lot of artists that are on the cusp, that are in Houston, that have a sound that, because we want the next Maxo. We want the next Lil Jeremy. I'm really in tune with what's going on with the young people, because I know that's the wave. Look, a lot of times, man, we get disconnected. Those of us that's older, we get disconnected with what's going on. But
True.
these young guys in Houston, man, they got it.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to hone
Absolutely.
in all of that. On top of getting placements. A lot of those placements I can't talk about right now. They're coming. They are coming. They're major placements. Like, million record selling artists. But because we've had them come through our studio already. One notable person that we've had at our studio is NBA Youngboy, who has come really, hardhead. Marcus, I'm sorry. Because I don't know if he likes me calling him hardhead as much lately, but Marcus, Hardhead Richard, a lot of those early recordings of,